In this video, we'll create a production-ready Docker container for an Angular app. Then we'll push this container to AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud. So let's start. First, I'll create a Docker file. Make sure also to have installed Docker in your machine. So we need the environment here, so we need the node environment, and the version that I will put here is 15.4. And I will name it as build. So we will do a multi-stage Docker build. I will explain that later. First, let's focus from this node, this part here. We want to build our app. Let's start with the working directory. You can name it whatever you want. I will call it app. Then we'll copy package.json to the working directory. So I will add also a star here. So this will copy package.json and also package log.json. This dot means this working directory. So once we added those files there, we run npm install, and since we are using a node container, we have npm available. So after we install it, then we need to build it to production. So before I run anything here, I want to make a change. We have ng build here in our scripts, but if we want to build to production, we have to add prod here. So what I will do is I will add a new script, prod, and this will be ng build prod, like this. So this will be easier, and now here I will run the command npm run prod. So this will build our app to production. So I will run that command here also, and let's see what files it does generate. So now we will learn why I named it like this, because once we run npm run prod, it will create some files here, and we don't need these files anymore. We need only the distribution folder. So we created the build. So not sure why my app doesn't get the files. Doesn't matter. So let's add a new from here, and this time we won't have node, but I will add nginx, and the version will be 1.19. So here we won't add node. We will simply serve the HTML files, which I need to refresh. Not sure why they reload. So we have the distribution folder here, and we can see we have index.html and these files. So it's located in the distribution folder Angular Docker. This is the name of my project, by the way. You can name your project whatever. So now we are at nginx. We need also a directory here, nginx, and I will add here a file nginx.conf. Here I will paste this nginx code, so I will provide this code in the description of this video. And let's go to the Docker file. I will copy here nginx.conf, and we'll copy that to etc nginx.conf. So dot here. So we have copied that file in this other container, and now we will use this build here. So As I said before, we don't need these files anymore. We need only the distribution folder, since it will serve the index.html file with these JavaScript build files. So for that, we will copy from build, we'll copy, we have the working directory is up here, so from up, dist, and the dist has another folder here, which is Angular Docker in my case, Angular Docker, and we'll copy that to, so I'll add a slash just in case, to user share nginx HTML. So this way, this was a bigger container since it had not modules and all these files, but this one has only HTML and JavaScript files. So it's smaller container, is running on nginx, which is serving only this HTML file, and we need this nginx. We need it because when we go to a specific URL, we want to redirect all of them to the index.html. So this is this location. Otherwise, we will get an error. So this is the Docker file, and now let's run it. So to run this Docker file, write docker build. We need to specify a name for this Docker file, for this Docker container. I will specify it to app, but you can name it whatever you want. And we need to build this Docker file, so we have to add it as a dot here. So now it's building. Let's wait till it's completed. So it failed because I forgot one line here between npm install and npm run prod, which is to copy all the files to the working directory. So my bad there. So this will copy all these files to this working directory, and then we need to build to production. So now that we fixed the problem, let's run it again. So now it was built successfully, and now this container is ready to be pushed to the cloud. But first, let's see it on our browser. So to see it on our browser, we have to run the container. So docker run. We need to specify the port. So the port inside the container is 80. In our local host, we can put whatever port you want. So I will put 8888. So, and then we need the name of our container, which we named it up. So that's it. If we run this and go to our browser, let's go to localhost 8888, and we'll see the Angular app running. So this was our container that was built. Now let's push this container to the cloud, and I will close this IDE because we won't use it anymore. So I'm logged into my Azure portal here, and before I create anything, make sure to have installed the Azure CLI. So download the right version for your machine and follow the instructions. You will have access to this AZ command, which it will show these options. So before, let's go back to the Azure portal, and we will create a container registry. So we don't have any container registry yet, so let's create a container registry. So I will create a container registry here. The resource group, I have a demo resource group here, which I added just the name. The registry name, I will call it app, so it needs to have 5 characters, so I will call it my app. Already in use, so my container. Okay, it's container app, so which name is not used? So my container app. I will use this name. And for the location, you can pick your location. For the SKU, I will select the basic version. Let's create it. And we can create this registry. And now that we created our registry, we need also to log in. So first we have to log in via Azure like this, easy login. So we need to sign into our account here, and we logged into Microsoft Azure. So as we can see, it shows this data. So after we log in there, we have to run this other command. So Azure Container Registry login, and here we need the name which was up. So let's copy it also. So go to the resource and let's copy the URL, which is this one. So we don't need the suffix. So let's log in. So this will allow us to push the Docker container to Azure. So we successfully logged in. And now that we logged in, we can push our image. To push our image, first we have to tag the image. So Docker tag, the name of our container is up, and I'll paste again this URL which I copied, and we need to add in the end /app. So this is our repository here. So I added this, and after we tag, we have to push it. So let's push it. And now it's pushing our container to the Azure Container Registry. So let's wait till it's completed. So it is completed. Now we can go back, and here we'll go to the repositories. This is our app repository, and here we have our image. So this is our image, and what I will do here is I will copy this container name. So I'll copy this, and let's go back to the home, and let's create a container instance now. So let's create a container instance. I'll select the same resource group. We need the container name. The container name is up, and we have to select the image source to Azure Container Registry, and we have our container app. So we need to enable admin here. So let's click learn more, and we have to run this command. So I will copy this command, and I will run it here. So we need the name here, or I will write it directly. Not sure if we need my container app. So I made a mistake here. It should be with one M, not two M's. So it is enabled, and now we can use it. So do we need to refresh here? I will refresh, and I will select this resource group. I will select app here, registry, and now it is selected. So everything is correct. I will change the size here. I will keep everything minimal. So 0.5 is minimal memory. So I'll select this, review and create. Also, I think I forgot something. So we need to also go to the networking part, and we have to map the port 80. So by default is automatically mapped, so we don't have anything to change. But if your container port is different, we need to select here the other port. So 80 is correctly, and we don't need to change anything else. Let's create it. So deployment is in progress. The deployment is complete. So let's go to the resource, and we have a public IP address here. So we can copy this IP address, and if we go to that IP address, we can see our app deployed. So this is how we deploy a Docker container to Azure Container Instance. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you like, share and subscribe. Thank you.